Hello, hello, it's Blue coming to you live from the Louvre Museum. Welcome back to another Top Cut Talk interview. Yes, that's what I'm calling it now. Feel free to give me a better idea or ideas in the comments. But yeah, anyway, this time around we have Etigma, the winner of the most recent major altered event held by Ludotrotter in Paris, with close to 500 participants. We get a breakdown of how he went from top 16 in Angers to the top player at this event, some musings about Muna heroes, and much more. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this content, and without further ado, let's get into it. All right, today with us we have the finalist and winner of the Ludo Paris event 2 weekends ago at this point, Etigma. Thanks for being here, and why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a bit about how you got into Altered?
Okay, hello. I'm 26, French player. I mostly play Magic the Gathering for now. I've been introduced to Altered by a friend that tell me, look, there is a new game. I've tasted it, and it was like really, really good. I've backed the Kickstarter. Now I'm here, so playing a lot.
Nice, yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of Magic players um, start it and actually like it as far as like the different type of gameplay that you can see from the game, right? Um, so yeah, I mean the event in France that you participated in won was the second biggest event in France and realistically the world at this point because it's a lot bigger in Europe. Uh, what was that experience like just being there compared to Angers, for example? Because I know you were there and made a top 16 there, or other events that you might have attended in Magic, for example.
It was not really different from other TCG tournaments I've been to. It was like mm, the community was here in Angers. We were like 1,000, like 500 in Paris, meeting a lot of people, a lot of team members. Was really, really great.
Yeah, I mean, with team members in particular, I know you're part of the team, the Altered Aces. Just real quick, what's it like being part of like a team in a TCG, and anything in particular that you can tell us about the Aces, for example?
So being part of the team is, I think, really important for Altered because you can share like insights, uniques, decklist, and you can train with really good people, and that really makes the difference, especially for Altered.
I see. Yeah, it seems like it's a good setup, especially if you want to practice competitively, right? Feels like, especially like Altered Aces, you guys have a lot of people making the top cut at this point, right? So it's obviously working. So yeah, I mean, the event did seem like it was ran similar to the first major event in Angers. Uh, if I mean, and I know you were at both at this point. We talked about a little bit how it compared and how it's similar. Um, how was this event for like just you as a player? Is there some things that you would want to see updated in general, not just from Ludotrotter, but just from the developer, for example?
They were both really similar. Like there were a lot of people, a lot of space, and that was really cool. Paris was much more organized with their software, with Melee, and that was really better to the round was really smooth in Paris, and that was really great. For future events, I would like more people, if if possible, keeping this smooth smooth things because Altered is really taxing, is really that's intense games, and waiting like 20 minutes after you finished is not so cool.
I gotcha.
Um, if possible, also some decoration. In Ludotrotter in Paris, that was a Pokemon salon, so we didn't see a lot of figure from Altered.
Yeah, I think once we actually see developer supported events specifically, and it's not just side events for like Ludotrotter or whoever else kind of thing. And once we have like the official altered events, hopefully we'll see more like decorated surrounded events just for altered, right? Like it may be part of like a large con or something, but we may have like separated areas for altered and make it an actual full on community event where they have other things going on, right? So that'll be pretty cool, I think, once it does
Yes,
actually happen.
I'm really looking forward for to it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of talked about things that you liked. Is there anything that was in particular your favorite thing about the event itself?
Um, but everything was really smooth, and judge were really cool. So I think that was my favorite part.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard some things as far as like it'll be interesting how they implement the judging program for Altered overall. I know it's been like contentious in other games sometimes. So it'll be interesting to see if they have like an official program at some point that they decide to implement. But yeah, I mean, getting into the more competitive side of things for the event, um, although most people feel like the meta is set a little bit as far as an Ordis hero, we still see new decks occasionally, right? And new heroes enter the top cut on occasion for Altered. Um, but what made you decide on Waru and Mac and the deck list that brought you to the event and realistically the top cut and winning the whole thing?
So firstly, for Angers, we were going as four friends, and my other friends play Muna and Axiom. So we have just a pool of Unix to play Axiom, Muna, and Ordis. So I was the one playing Ordis. I've seen that Waru was already a strong pick because the deck was really consistent and strong, and I've decided to play with it and to try it in BGA, Board Game Arena. I made a really good uh, I don't know how to say it. I made really good result with it
Hmm?
online, in Angers too, with top 16. And so I've decided to continue playing it for Paris.
Got it. And so I also noticed like looking at your deck list, you made some changes in comparison to Angers. Was there any reason behind that? Just like fine tuning things? It wasn't anything crazy, but I there were some slight changes.
Yeah, just a bit of fine tuning. I've discussed with Neuro, that's part of Altered Aces and Winning Angers. So we discussed a few slots. I was going with it. I've tested a bit online and was like, okay, seems good.
Right. I gotcha. And then your uniques within the deck itself, you said you kind of just had them as with your friend group and pulling all your uniques together. Um, I know when I was watching online as far as the Paris event, uh, obviously we can't see the uniques as you guys playing them, so it's always fun trying to guess like what's happening based off of play. Can you tell me a little bit about like the Frog Princes and the Legat?
What do you want to know about these
Yeah,
units?
just this like why you decided to go with them, how you play them within the deck, anything like that, realistically.
Okay. So first, I only have one frog, the ones that put tokens when another person another character enter plays. Um, with a few tests, it was really strong in Waru because you can sleep characters and put some tokens, so you didn't lose anything by sleeping your characters. And I've searched for other unique like that. Um, I was thinking at first that I would never uh, play like double Robin,
Right.
or other units with Robin because I don't have cash for this. And and this type of unique was um, good enough for me. And I found two others, with one frog being okay, and the other one being really strong. And after some tests, I was like, okay, so the Unix are really good, putting some tokens into play. It's really strong for the mirror, and I've been knowing that I would play a lot of mirror if I go to top table.
Got it.
So that's why.
Yeah, so it looks like you did go with like the full three uniques that are your token generators, and I remember when I was watching the event, um, that basically, hold on, that I was trying to figure out the one frog prince that where you had to sacrifice a token, and you produce two more tokens, right? And I was trying to figure out what it did because it looked like you were hooking a token to the other expedition a lot of the time, and I'm like, is there an effect that does that for unique? But I didn't know that it was just like a sacrifice mechanic originally. Like I didn't think to look at your old Anders deck list to figure that out. But it was interesting nonetheless. So it realistically didn't even matter. You're able to sacrifice a token and then produce two more tokens, right? So
Yeah, it's just interesting, and with that you can like made a equilibrium
mhm.
of the board, and with Waru you win this kind of equilibrium, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know a lot of warriors make a big deal about the hero power token placement kind of thing, and non-warrior players may not see like the big deal about it, but being able to place that token and then sacrifice that token and kind of like switch things up a little bit to wherever you want to put it could obviously throw other like warriors off in the mirror, I can imagine. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
that's a brain move. So I put a token, you play on it, and then okay, I sacrifice it and go the other way.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it's especially helpful, I bet, in the mirror, like you mentioned. But yeah, so as far as like the Swiss top cut and everything, I mean, what was the experience like making it past the Swiss rounds? Um, I know you were the only player to go undefeated through the entire Swiss, correct?
Yes. So it's BO1, so it's really a bit stressful. And Paris was announced like a top 8. So going with one lose was the end, basically, if you are not lucky enough. So that was really stressful at first. And then they announced top 16. That was like, okay, I can do it. I was like in 5-0 at the time. Uh, I I've encountered I've been fighting against some really good players like Skycrier that was playing Afanas, and that was stressful one. But I had some fortune at the time. and I've been winning these games. A difficult matchup was Teja too. So Muna is a bit difficult for Waru. Um, but again, I had some good fortune, and I've been like 7-0 against someone that was like 6-0-1. So I had to play, and I had to win too. So I win and decided to play my last, so I can maybe make a places in the top 16 for a member of my team. And I've win it too. So 9-0, I was like, okay, that's cool.
Right.
My job is done. And in the top 16, I was like, okay, I will give everything I had,
Yeah,
stay focused, stay focused, just go with it.
for sure. And just out of curiosity, you mentioned Tasia being a difficult matchup. I mean, we've seen a lot of Tasia being played as far as like percentage in these larger tournaments, but we haven't really seen Tasia do as well compared to some other heroes, kind of thing. I assume it's just the anchoring that makes it a little bit more difficult for Waru since they stay out there while you're sleeping and everything stays out there. Why do you think it is that Tasia isn't seeing the same type of success, especially with a decent matchup against Waru?
I think maybe Teja and Muna lack flexibility. Like the strong point of Raoul is you can sleep and you will start the other round, the other journey, the other day with an advantage. Teja can that too, but lack a strong removal or like sabotage or other things.
Yeah, I know, for example, like when I play Ordis against any type of Muna player, I'm excited to have like a teamwork training ready as soon as they decide to anchor something, right?
So
Because it's just immediate, like especially on like an aloe vera or something, right? When they when they pay the
was gonna say it.
yeah, when they pay the extra and I'm like, "Oh, thanks," But
So you pay four and I'm like 2 mana and gone.
yeah, exactly. Guess you're not gonna get a resupply. Too bad. Um, but yeah, cool. So I mean, making it into the top cut, top in the top and everything. Did you expect to be there, based on your preparation and already making the top cut in Angers, for example?
I've prepared a lot. I've trained a lot since Angers. Um, I was knowing I have the ability to make it to the top 16. I needed just a bit of fortune on don't lose my focus. Um, Discussing with other team members helped me a lot too to not stress about this. Um, I was like, okay, I can do it. I can make it to the top 16 too. I've made it once. So why not boss? Um, I was not really surprised to be in the 16, but that was a really good um, event.
For sure. And like, as far as like the top 16 and everything like that, and I also noticed that you said you worked with your teammate Neuro, who ended up winning Angers, for example. So I'm sure having like the additional teammate help was is nice, just being able to bounce ideas off of each other, especially playing the same hero and everything. So, um, was there anything that surprised you in the top 16 overall, other than not being surprised you made it? I know, for example, I saw some heroes that I didn't really expect to see, like the Basira or the Subash in general, but anything that surprised you?
I think I expected more Lyra, like Fen, because it's a decent matchup against Waru. That's really that's really strong. So seeing some Bravos Axiom was really a good surprise. I didn't see any traced. I guess there is none. So I didn't know what to think about that. So for me, Tracy is a really good and strong deck. Maybe just not in this meta.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, like you mentioned, uh, it's weird that you see that drop off between events, especially because, like you mentioned, I think Finn and Trace are probably close to the next consistent, best consistency as far as like a hero is concerned, right?
Mm.
Especially with their hero powers, um, or their hero effects. So it's interesting that we didn't see many, if any of them, for the top cut in general, and that we saw some new heroes pop up. But it's good to see the meta change up a little bit, right? Um, Maybe we'll see some more new decks as we go forward, and once we get the new set coming up here in a couple months. Um,
I know that a lot of players were like, okay, they was playing Fan and decided to go to Waru to try to win. So maybe just people think, okay, Waru is just the best, so I will go with this deck and no other.
yeah, I could see that happening, especially with the uh, the general thoughts of the community that I think everyone sees as far as Waru is concerned, and just feeling like if you want to win at an event, you probably should play it at this point. Um, but I don't know. I still think there is room for other heroes to win. I've seen other heroes win at least online events at this point, you know. So it's definitely possible, especially with best of ones. I feel like there's always a chance that you can sneak one in. I've even seen a traced beat a Waru in a best of one, right? Uh, e-
Yes.
even with that matchup, I've seen it happen, right? This could
And
just be
I think too that there is um, decks that have not been explored, and we can see a lot of things emerge, and maybe they can beat Waru or at least be not that bad against it.
yeah. We were talking ahead of time, right? We're just waiting for Saudi to be meta at this point, right?
Of course, like playing 8 8 8 for 6,
Yeah,
8, 9, and being removed is okay.
yeah. Just go to Arena Tiebreaker and play gigantic characters. You get double stats, right? So easy win.
That's strong.
Yeah, there's a lot of heroes out there, I think, that haven't seen a lot of love. Atsadi being one of them. I feel like there's like Arjun, uh, Arak.
I'm really disappointed in Arjun. I've tested Arjun and Teja, some new decklists, and I think they are pretty strong, particularly Arjun. I'm really surprised of my result with it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I've seen people try to play Arjun. I've seen people try to play other heroes that aren't very popular, and it's just something about it. There's just not quite enough there yet. Sometimes it feels like I've seen some interesting decks where I've seen people focus on like an Arjun in like the 2v2 format, and they
Mm.
use like the out of faction quets to anchor it a lot and make everyone draw, and you get additional tokens, kind of thing. And you can play them on target expedition, so you can play them on your teammates expedition a lot and just help them advance support wise. So
That's
it's
cute.
yeah, it's fun when it comes to like a format like that. But obviously we haven't really seen that in the official 1v1 playing against other heroes just by yourself kind of thing, right? But there's definitely some flexibility there. If you ever want to get into competitive 2v2, just or maybe even free for all at this point, just hit up Arjun and start making everybody draw and make tokens, kind of thing. So
I think Arjun has places in 1v1 too. especially with festival
Okay.
version.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
that
haven't.
could be really good. Maybe the community is not really into fine-tuning decks like this because there is solutions that are obvious.
Yeah. I mean, especially how you mentioned with Tasia and having like a decent matchup against Waru. Maybe if people were able to fine tune Arjun a little bit and just being able to anchor at will, there might be something there as far as like consistency, you know. Um,
Mm.
but we'll
Like
see.
finding good Unix I can make some value but can be really good too. I don't really know.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you mentioned that with the uniques because there's a lot of times now that we've seen where someone found a good unique style for a hero and then all of a sudden everybody wants to play it, you know, whether it's the spindle harvesters for faunus or the infamous loop jellyfish and Andrews that everyone wanted to start getting immediately on the Discord in the marketplace kind of thing. Um, there's always something I feel like with that system that if you just find the right one, it may make a hero viable, right?
Yeah, that's a system, but I think you can go with some other Unix and just don't you don't have the same deck, but you have the same dynamic and you can make it too.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, thanks for jumping on. Last question for you is do you have any advice to those looking to play competitively and realistically replicate your success of winning an event?
Yes, I have some play online, so you can play a lot against a lot of people. Maybe good, maybe bad, but play a lot. If possible, find a group of player. Um, as I have said, you can share insights, a pool of Unix, maybe some deck lists, and you can train with them. And if you are all a good level, you can upright the whole team.
For sure. Yeah,
And
I really think it's a big thing as far as like having the ability to play online, you know, with a bunch of different options at this point. So you don't necessarily always have to get together with in-person stuff, although I do like doing that with a group of people. You don't necessarily have to. But yeah, I mean, other than that, have any future plans as far as Altered is concerned? Events, anything other than that?
I think no big tournament have been announced in France. So for now, I have no plan, but of course, if there is any, I think I will go. I'm really looking forward to season 2 of Altered, and I'm really hyped by this. And I want to know what they will do with their organized play. Um, what will it be if there is a competitive circle?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone at this point is interested to see if they're going to announce like a full season of organized play, you know, and have things in different areas. I imagine they're planning on doing that at least in like Europe, bunch in France and wherever else kind of thing, right? And then I'm personally obviously hoping that we'll get some stuff over here in North America as well. So uh no, it's not as big, but definitely will travel if anyone from Equinox is listening, just set it up. We'll be there, promise. Um but
But
yeah,
we can be optimistic about it.
yeah.
So just look at the adventure pass. That's a really cool things for a TCG.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are something really great.
Yeah, I agree. I'm already on my second account for the Adventure Pass, trying to get as many training cards as I can. So I got too many locals. But anyway, thanks again for stopping by. It was good talking to you, learning a little bit about your experience. Anyone interested in more interview content, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Past that, have a good one, and talk to you later.
Thank you.